If you don't fire these 3 types of employees, it could be you who ends up fired. I've spent the last 13 years building high-performing teams, and what I've learned is that by not letting go even one of these bad employees, your whole team will fail. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly which team members you need to cut and my system for making it a stress-free experience so that you can optimize your team this year. So what are the 3 types of employees that can quietly destroy your entire team from the inside out? Spotting these 3 types of people who can wreck your team's momentum and success is critical for any new manager. With what I'm about to show you, you'll quickly identify those who you need to let go so your team can grow. So how do you do that? Well, do you remember back in the day when we used to be able to game online for hours because we didn't have any responsibilities? Yeah, those were good times. Well, believe it or not, these types of employees that you need to fire are probably like some of the people you used to game with and have some of the same traits. Let me explain. If you were a gamer back in the day, you probably had a squad that you would play with on a regular basis, and you had at least one of the following types of gamers in your group. First, we had the toxic player. He was the guy that was just always way over the top. He was always starting chat room screaming matches, he was rage quitting, and was always hurling these random insults at kids online.
Oh my god, bro, just quit the game. Do you know what the shape of Italy is? Go peel strawberries, kid.
What does that even mean? These antics got old pretty quickly, and you eventually just put them on mute. Then we have the friend who was always trying to cheat. He was the one guy buying mods online from those sketchy Russian hackers and using aimbots. When you would call him out for it, he would say things like,
"Oh my god, bro, relax, it's just a game. Bro, cheating never hurt anyone, it's okay."
But by being in his party, you ran the risk of getting the ban hammer, and even when you did win, it didn't feel great because you know you cheated. Finally, we have the guy that just could never accept blame for how bad he was playing and would always run off solo and ignore the plan. That's the guy that would always say things like,
"Hey, that's not my job, bro. Bro, my teammates are so bad, dude. This is awful. Oh my god, that guy has to be host."
So how do these toxic gamers relate to the employees that can be dragging us down? It's simple. These 3 types of gamers are the 3 different types of employees we need to identify and cut. The toxic employee, the ethically compromised employee, and the perpetually unaccountable employee. The toxic employee makes everyone uncomfortable in the workplace, and they're constantly stirring up drama. They seem to be at the center of a lot of employee complaints and issues. Then we have the ethically compromised employees. These are easily the worst. They are the employees who have no issues lying to you, deceiving customers, or even stealing. Finally, there's the unaccountable employee who doesn't like to take blame when they do something wrong, and these are the ones that are the trickiest. And I say that because accountability can be coached, especially if someone's younger and still learning how to navigate the professional workplace. One of the hardest parts of being a manager is just being able to figure out if that person is a lost cause or if they can be fixed. So as a manager, it's your job to put in that time to get these employees on the right track through one-on-one coaching. I personally believe in giving all employees a chance to be successful through proper coaching, but if you've addressed the areas that you're concerned about, shown them the correct way to do it, and they're still not getting it, it's time to make that hard move to let them go. So how do you actually fire someone without it being crazy stressful? This is easily one of the most gut-wrenching aspects of being a new manager, but it doesn't have to be. Over the years, I've developed a simple system that will help make things 10 times easier so that you can make your team better. So how do you do that? Well, do you remember back in the Halo and Call of Duty days when you ended up in a one-on-one situation? If you've ever had this happen to you, you know how nerve-wracking it is to take someone one-on-one with the whole lobby watching. Any wrong move can lead to failing and the whole lobby calling you trash at your favorite video game. The other person might even be talking some smack, trying to get under your skin and throwing off your game. I've seen so many gamers in this situation get emotional, they get riled up, which then makes them not think as clearly. This then leads them to playing the game in a way they don't normally do, which causes them to inevitably lose, and worst of all, get called a noob.
What a noob! Trash, bro!
Wrecked. Back in my gaming days, whenever I found myself in a one-on-one situation, I just ignored the trash talk. I knew it was just a tactic to throw me off, and staying focused was my priority. By staying focused and tuning out the noise, I stuck to the tactics that I knew worked best. This approach often led me to clutching the situation. So what does this have to do with letting go of employees? Well, it's simple. Instead of firing them, you just gotta make them rage quit after you hit them with the 360 no-scope on the final kill cam. Obviously, I'm kidding. But in the same way you don't want to get emotional in that tense situation of trying to be clutch, you need to do the same thing when letting someone go. It's important to remain respectful and not let any emotion or frustration through in the conversation. You're gonna have employees try to argue and plead their case, but you need to stick to the facts of why you're letting them go and not get lost in the weeds. I call it being a broken record player. Simply repeat the reason why you're letting them go whenever they argue or try to bring up diversions. It sounds a little something like this. Caleb, I understand what you're saying and how you feel. However, we've already discussed tardiness multiple times, and this week you've been late every single day. My decision is final. This job isn't the right fit for you, and I believe you're better off somewhere else. By repeating something like this, it allows for you to stay focused, not come across harshly, and convey the message that there's no talking their way out of this. Which brings me to the final step that will make this process easier for you, and it's crucial you don't miss this. So, what is this last critical step in the firing process? This is something that you need to be doing for every single hard conversation you have like this, as it takes so much stress out takes so much stress out of the situation. So, how do you do that? Well, I learned this from when I was a wannabe pro Halo 3 player. My friends and I spent hours in custom mode doing what we called speed training. It was chaos. Players had 10x the health and moved at lightning speeds. Every match was just insanity. But here's the thing, after grinding through these insane sessions, jumping back into the normal game felt completely different. It was calm, it was focused, and even a little slow. I felt sharper and more in control because I had navigated the chaos of speed training. So what does that have to do with making firing less stressful? Well, it's simple. Just like speed training helped me feel more confident in the game, you need to practice and prepare what you're going to say when letting someone go. Mentally preparing what you're going to say is a huge help, and it prevents you from losing your train of thought while you're talking to that person that is probably trying to throw all sorts of excuses at you. Listen, I know firing can be extremely hard and stressful, especially if you're an empathetic person, but it does get easier and the benefits far outweigh the stress. The quote that has always stuck with me over the years when it comes to firing has been, if an incompetent person is kept in a job, who is the incompetent one? The one working the job or the one keeping them there? But now that you know my system of letting people go, it begs the question, what if you didn't need to fire them in the first place? Well, the truth is, many employees could have been great if their manager was able to inspire them using the right words. So go watch this video next where I show you 3 simple cheat codes and the exact words you need to do just that.